Hi all. In this video, we are going to see about deterministic finite automaton, that is DFA. We are studies now what is finite automaton. Finite automaton is nothing but a mathematical model which is used for recognizing some patterns. So here we are going to discuss in detail about the deterministic finite automaton. First we'll see we call what is DFA. So deterministic finite automaton DFA is a finite automaton in which every state exactly has only one transition for an input symbol. It consists of states and transitions. So before we go into the examples, we'll discuss the formal definition of a DFA. So the formal definition of a DFA consists of 5 tuples, namely Q, which is nothing but the set of states, sigma, which is nothing but the set of input symbols, the transition function. The transition function takes the input of the form, that is, it takes a state and an input symbol. It produces a state as the output. Here lies the basic difference between deterministic finite automaton and a non-deterministic finite automaton. So, in case of deterministic finite automaton, the transition function takes a state and an input symbol and produces a state as the output. Here Q0 is considered as the starting state of the automaton. F is the set of accepting states. It means that we say that F is the set of accepting state because in a given automaton there can be more than one accepting state, but there should be only one starting state. I am repeating again, in any given finite automaton there can be only one starting state while there can be more than one accepting state. We'll talk about these things with an example. So we'll take this finite automaton as an example, that is DFA, right? So the 5 tuple representation according to the formal definition is given below. So how many states are here? Here in this example we have 3 states, namely Q0, Q2, Q1, right? So first, what is the first parameter? It represents Q, which is nothing but the set of states. So it represents set of all states that is present in this automaton. The second is the set of input symbols. So when we observe this diagram, what are the input symbols? We know that the edges are labeled with the input symbols, right? So here, how many input symbols are there? There are 2 different input symbols, hence we have named it 0, 1. The transition function, we will define it later. Here in this diagram, in this example, which is the starting state, we know that the starting state is differentiated from the remaining state with the help of this arrow mark and the start symbol. So it varies from textbook to textbook. In few textbooks, they will be using start, in few it may not be. So from this diagram, it is inferred that Q0 is the starting state. So here, the last parameter is the set of accepting state. In our example, we have only one accepting state, but actually there can be more than one accepting state. Okay. So since there can be more than one accepting state, always we represent the accepting states as in the set notations. In our example, the accepting state is Q1. How do I say that Q1 is the accepting state? So accepting state is differentiated by representing or denoting it by double circle. So here Q1 is the accepting state. Okay. Now we'll go and define the transition function. So we know that the transition function of a DFA takes a state and an input symbol and produces a state as the output. So Q0, when it scans the input symbol 0, from the diagram it is inferred that it goes to the state Q2. So Q0, when it scans 0, it goes to the state Q2. Similarly, when the automata scans the input symbol 1, it remains in the same state. This represents that it is being in the same state. So it remains in the same state. So Q0. Similarly, for the state Q2. So Q2, when it scans the input symbol 0, it remains in the same state, say Q2. Q2, when it scans the input symbol 1, it goes to the state Q1. Similarly for Q1. So for when we observe the state Q1, for by scanning both the input symbol 0 and 1, it remains in the same state. So this is the 5 tuple representation of any given automaton, right? Next comes the representation. So we know that there are 2 types of representation for any given automaton. One is the transition diagram and another one is transition table. We can represent a DFA either using transition diagram or with transition table. Right? So next one is the extended transition function. So in the previous example, in the 5 tuple representation, we saw how to write a transition function, right? So So there, those transition function was taking a input symbol as the input, right? So a state and an input symbol and process it and produces a state as the output. What happens instead of passing a input symbol, if I pass a string as an input, we know what a string is. A string is nothing but a collection of characters, right? So actually the transition function is defined for processing one input symbol. If I want to extend that existing transition function to process a string, then we call that as a extended transition function. To differentiate the normal transition function and the extended transition function, we make use of a cap symbol, right? So that's the extended transition function helps us to process a given string starting from any arbitrary state of the automaton. So we define the extended transition function using mathematical induction. Actually, the mathematical induction consists of two parts. One is the basis part and another one is the induction part. So in basis part, we consider that there is no input symbol. We know that if no symbol is present, we represent that with empty string. So q comma epsilon is equal to q. So being in a state, if an automata does not scan any input symbol, then there is no possibility for the automata to move from one state to another state. So hence it remains in the same state, right? So next we'll go for the induction part. Here we'll consider that W be the string which we want to process, right? So we assume that W is of the form XA, where X is a string and A is a symbol. So what do we infer from this? If the length of W is going to be n plus 1, then what will be the length of X and A? X will be of length n, A will be of length 1, because X is considered as a string and A is a symbol. Okay, so thus the string W is taken like this, right? So I am using extended transition, that is cap symbol, because W is an input string. Now I am rewriting is like this. Here X is a string while A is an input symbol. Hence here this transition function contains cap symbol while this transition function does not contain, because it is going to take a symbol as an input, right? So we'll assume for this proof, for this definition purpose, we'll assume that q comma x gives me the state p. So we in DFA we know that every transition function gives me exactly only one state as the output, right? So this becomes p comma a. So when I substitute here, that is instead of this part, if I substitute p, I'll get a transition function like this. So extended transition function is nothing but I'm going to extend the basic transition function that is defined for an input symbol to take a string as the input. That is an extended transition function, right? So we have defined that extended transition function using mathematical induction. So we'll see an example for this mathematical, that is extended transition function. We'll take the same automata which we have taken for the initial definition. We'll check whether the string 101 is accepted by the following automata. So before we go into the example, we must learn when do I say that a string is accepted by the automata. We usually say that a string is accepted by the automaton when the following condition gets satisfied. The automata starts its transition from the starting state of the given automaton. It has to make sequence of transition by processing one symbol at a time, and after processing all the symbols in the input, finally if it lands up in an accepting state, then we say that the given input string is accepted by the following automaton. Okay, we'll just illustrate that with the help of a extended transition function. So in this given automaton, which is the starting state, q naught is going to be the starting state. What is the input symbol I am going to take? Let this be 101. Okay. So how we have defined the extended transition function? If you have a string, you split the string in such a way that you remove the last symbol from it and the remaining part you consider as a string. So accordingly, so in our example, we have string of length 3. So the last character is taken out and the remaining one is taken inside, right? Now again, we have to split this 1 0 and then we get epsilon, that is empty string 1 0. So again we have to partition it, that is last character have to be taken out. So whenever a character has to be processed, you have to make use of the normal transition function. When you are going to process a string, then you have to make use of a cap symbol to indicate that you are going with string as an input, meaning applying extended transition function, right? So now again this q naught comma 1, we have to keep on expanding it until we get an epsilon, right? So we substitute. So I have not done anything. This time I expanded this 101. I have taken this 1 out. The remaining 10 is treated as a string. Now again I will repeat the process. Among 10 I am taking zeros out, and here in the string only the symbol 1 remains as such, right? So now just substituting, instead of 10 I am substituting whatever I have expanded here. I will get a string like this. Now again what we have seen in the definition, until I get the basis part, I have to keep on repeat the process. Yes, now I have to expand this q naught comma 1. So q naught comma 1. So when I take even 1 out, no symbol will be here, hence that is represented by epsilon. So now we know from basis that from a state, if I don't scan any input symbol, then I remain in the same state. So accordingly, we'll process it. See q naught comma epsilon q naught, because it is not scanning any input symbol. If an automata being in a state does not scan any input symbol, it has to remain in the same state. So accordingly, this part will be replaced by q naught, right? So q naught. So this part when I replace by q naught, it becomes q naught, right? So q naught comma 1. So I am replacing here. See this part I am replacing. Yes. So this becomes q naught here. So the remaining is as such written, copied here. So now what is q naught comma 1 from the diagram? We have to. So from q naught comma 1 is nothing but it remains in the same state, right? So it becomes like this. So q naught comma 1 is q naught. So now again what happens? This part q naught comma 1 can be replaced by q naught. So thus it is getting reduced like this. Again what about q naught comma 0? From the diagram, it is inferred that q naught, when it scans the input symbol 0, it goes to the state q2. Now again substitute it. So you will get q2 comma 1. So what about q2 comma 1? It is nothing but q1. So what is the final state you are getting after scanning the input symbol 101? It is q1. See, after processing all the symbols in the input, what we have to do? We have to check whether the final state which we are getting is an accepting state. Yes, in our example, Q1 is an accepting state. Thus, we say that the string 101 is accepted by the automaton. So, this is a formal way of verifying whether the string 101 is accepted by the automata or not. Informally, by seeing the diagram itself, we can say that a string whether the string will be accepted or not. Right? We'll just go ahead with that. So now what is the first input symbol? Or we know that always you have to start the verification from the starting state. Which is the starting state here? Q naught is the starting state, right? So what is the first input symbol? 1. So Q naught, when it scans the symbol 1, where it goes, it remains in the same state. So now what is the next input symbol? 0. Q naught, when it scans 0, where it goes to the state Q2, right? So again, we have processed up to second symbol. Now where we are in the state Q2. So from Q2, we have to check the transition for the input symbol 1. So Q2, when it scans the symbol 1, where it goes to the state Q1, which is nothing but an accepting state. Since from the starting state we are able to reach the accepting state, we say that we conclude that the string 101 is acceptable by the automaton, right? So this slide gives you the formal definition of a DFA. So we define D, that is we rename the deterministic finite automata as D, and the language of D is defined as, so W, that is we say that the language of the deterministic finite automaton consists of a strings when in such a way that when I apply an extended transition function for this starting from the starting state, why I am saying here the starting state is q naught, how I am saying it? From this formal definition, we say that q naught is the starting state, hence it has to be used. If you change the starting state here, it must reflect in this formal definition too, right? So q naught comma, what is my input string? W. So if I may apply extended transition function as we did in the previous example, finally if you land up in an accepting state, then I can say that that string belongs to the language of the given DFA. Okay, so in general, the languages accepted by DFA is known as regular language. So that's it about DFA.